It's about to start. Yourself. Very weird.
T3 Media.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another week of Talking Through the Medias. Talking Through the Media is your home for entertainment, news, and reviews by fans for fans. Make sure if you like what you're seeing, you like and subscribe. You can support us by becoming a member or sponsor us on Patreon for exclusives, which we would very much appreciate. Make sure you share your thoughts. Drop us a comment in the box below because we want to hear them. I'm Amy Newman. Joining me today is Chris Fagan. Chris, how you doing?
I am outstanding. I'm enjoying these new hotkeys, so I'm able to just push a button and watch this. Boom, it goes to Amy. Boom, it comes back to Chris. There's a graphic.
That is a pretty hot key.
Yeah. Oh, ha cha cha cha. Here we go.
Cha 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 cha.
Well, just like you said, guys, I'm Chris Fagan. That's Amy Newman. And this is another week of entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. As she said, I'm going to just step over her whole lines and just, take credit for them.
Did I do it wrong?
No, not at all. I just like, I like to repeat whatever you say, and then you blame me for not listening. I'm like, I think I was listening, and that whole argument, I'm always in those types of argument with people. Why aren't you? I find that people just mumble. It's not that I'm not listening. It's just that people mumble a lot, and they usually mumble when I'm not paying attention. So let's just get started with today, guys. You already know what it is, guys. We're gonna go through 3 trending topics. If you didn't have time to catch us on YouTube, or if you want to just do it on the podcast version, do it. Listen to us on the podcast version. You can do that. You can go to SoundCloud, or we're also on iTunes. You can also check this out, guys. You can also support the channel by going to t3media.com/contact and or add us on our social media accounts and just let us know your thoughts and comments, your questions. Send them there as well. During the live show, we'll be looking out for any super chats. We'll interrupt the show and we'll answer your question right here on the spot to help support the show, and through tips on Streamlabs as well. Or you might want to become a sponsor on our Patreon. Guys, speaking of sponsors, Talking Through the Medias is brought to you by a very, very special lady. You see her every week. Her name is Amy Newman. And I want to just take this time to just to say how much I appreciate Amy Newman and everything that she does. This woman has more talent than a little bit. I'm just going to say it like that. That's actually a compliment where I'm from. That means she has a lot of talent.
I have a medium amount of talent.
Over here it means you have a lot of talent, but we just say it like that. So, when I say talent, I mean that. If you have not gone to her YouTube channel and checked out her series, guys, I want you to go do that. I think this is sound. You don't know what I'm about to do. I think I'm sound right now. I think there's sound coming out that's about to come out of this, but it might be.
You're from that TV show, Newport High.
Yep.
No,
Yeah. Michael, my offer always stands.
What?
I have this friend. She's just a nice girl, and you really like her.
Michael?
Your friend Sam?
I was more than a casual fan.
Do you think I'm gonna screw it up? Like, real talk, am I gonna screw it up?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
To being fabulously well-adjusted.
Cheers.
That was season 1 of Your Biggest Fan is streaming. Go to YouTube, go to Amy's YouTube channel and check out that whole season. I finished it. I said I was gonna watch it just a little bit at a time, and instead of just binging the whole thing. And I've already found my character that I'm keeping my eye on. I've already got my favorite character. It's not who you think.
Is it me? Because if it's not me, I quit.
Well, Talking to the Medias will only be streaming with me. No, I think my favorite. Who's my favorite character? I'll tell you if I tell you, then I'll tell you after the show. No,
there's only like 6 characters in the whole thing.
I don't want to spoil it. Okay, my favorite character is a person who just like kind of comes out of nowhere in the background and just pick up something and be like, just look at you and just walk away. He didn't say anything. I'm like, what is that guy's problem? Why is he looking at Amy like that? I just couldn't figure it out. He did it in one episode. I think he did it like 2 or 3 times. He just was somewhere in the background. I think it was a party. Picks up a plate of food or gets a drink, and he just.
By the way, I don't know whose socials I'm rocking right now.
Oh, that was from another. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That was from another episode. Let me fix that for you. And but while I talk about, I'll keep your TikTok handle up there.
Just a hovering TikTok logo.
Yeah, I'll keep that up there just to say Amy doesn't have TikTok and we don't know why.
I actually did download it today for like a work audition thing, but nothing is on there. So.
Yeah, you
But
didn't.
thank you for the shout out, Chris. Thank you for the love. At some point, if my social media stuff's on the screen, if you go to either of those accounts, either like pinned on my Twitter or in my Instagram bio, that should be easy access if you want to check out season 1 of Your Biggest Fan. But thank you for watching it, Chris, and I'm very glad you enjoyed it. There it is.
There we go. All right, now
I'm getting better at like mirroring my hand to get this right.
You're balancing that plate real good.
It's really good. I'm gonna spin it.
I don't have that graphic yet, but guys, like I said, guys, we have 3 topics we're gonna go through real quick, and give you our thoughts, our opinions about them, and just share them with you. If you have any questions that you want to ask us, just put it in the box, like I always say, and we'll probably talk about it on We Got Your Mail. So let's go down these main topics, these trending topics, one by one. But why is that trending? So, Amy, what's the first one we got?
We got all kinds of things trending. Super Bowl, the Tom Brady win, super spreader event potentially, and of course the commercials. This week, the world witnessed Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl with his new team, the Tampa Bay Bucks, over the Kansas City Chiefs in a blowout. Other highlights of Sunday's big game included the halftime performance from the Weeknd and, of course, those funny Super Bowl commercials. So there you go. Lot to unpack. We have some fan comments, but we'll get to those in a minute.
I'm actually stalling a little bit because I was fixing your graphic. There we go. I fixed it right at the nick of time. I was a few seconds late, but I had to make sure to fix it. But did you caught the Super Bowl, right? I did
catch the Super Bowl. I usually watch. I'm not a big football girl, but I do usually catch the Super Bowl at least, because I feel like you miss out so much on the really it's the commercials and the halftime show and like any weird like meme-worthy stuff that happens. That's sort of more what I'm there for than the football, and just like an excuse to eat
playoffs
like and drink beer just like for a full afternoon.
It's a holiday. It's a holiday. But we were tweeting each other. It was funny because me and you tweeting. We were going back and forth on the phone talking about our favorite part of the game. We were texting about all the commercials and everything.
Oh, I could not have cared. It was such a boring game. I don't know much about football, but that game was like, all right.
You're like, I don't know much about this, but I know what I don't like. And I don't like this.
And honestly, it was like, all right, the Chiefs won last year.
Right. We was going to see if they were going to.
It's not really that exciting if they win. I don't like Tom Brady, and it's not really exciting if he wins. Like, they really managed to make it like, I have no, because normally I can at least kind of go like, okay, I'm going to root for the underdog, or I'm going to root, this team has this player with this great story. And I feel like they managed to really
but
make me not.
Tom Brady had the best story. I mean, maybe I'm the biggest fan of Tom Brady, or maybe I hate his guts, or maybe he's earned my respect over the years. But throughout, in comparing him to Kansas City and everything, I'm sorry, he had the better story. I wanted him to win just to see if he could, at his age, get that 7th ring. I'm like, I don't care if he never wins it ever again, but if after getting that 7th victory, I don't think anybody will ever touch him. I think that record's it's either gonna stand for a long time, or it'll never be touched. I mean, I just can't see it. I don't think anybody's gonna hit that record. It's
impressive.
It's impressive.
I don't love the guy, but it's impressive.
We're not going to debate about Deflategate and anything like that, but if you know what that is. But the main thing that was also being discussed while we were texting back and forth on it was we were kind of tricked in the beginning of it. We thought that this was a super spreader nightmare that was happening right at the beginning of the game. Like, look at all those people that's about to get sick. Nobody's moving. They're just sitting there catching COVID.
You literally, I was like, there's so many people. And
I said,
like,
zoom
those are
in.
dolls. You got tricked by dolls. I was like, okay, I'm an idiot. We do that.
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
I was also like 3 beers deep at that point. Like, why are there so many people?
You know, it is Florida. I mean, they literally exactly, but you know it's Florida, so you know the governor ordered blow up dolls for the game. So that's they were legit blow up dolls. So so let me tell you exactly what we were talking about, guys. Amy was all like, "What the hell are all those people doing out there?" And I was like pause the video and look closer. And she's all like, "Oh my God, is that a blow up doll? That's a legit blow up doll. It's like from 1985. It's disgusting." And I was like, "No, I don't think that's what it is." And then there was pictures of like celebrities, things like that. I think you saw Bernie Sanders with mittens out there, sitting out there.
Yeah. So what I was saying, I'm sure people, because you could pay, I think it was a couple $100 to get your like picture. So I'm guessing someone like paid to do Bernie or whatever. But
yeah, they've been doing that in wrestling too.
I don't know what the money. They never established what the money went to, but
to the blow up doll industry. I'm telling you, those pictures,
cutouts, Chris.
Why can't I have this? Why can't? So while I was having fun with that joke the whole time, we were also enjoying the Super Bowl commercials. I tried to stay away from as many.
Generous. They were fine. They were weak this year.
I feel like this year they showed us the best ones online before the game, and then you saw them again.
That bothered me so much. Yeah. Every time I went on Twitter, I was like, wait, this is like half of why I watch the Super Bowl. I don't want to see the commercials, a week in advance. Right. But honestly, I didn't think there was, we'll get to that. I didn't think there was much to write home about commercial wise. I
know Joe Ryan was upset that his favorite commercial didn't really make it through the bracket. Honestly, Joe, let me tell you what happened. I didn't want to put up a whole bunch of options out in there and just because the show would have ran too long. So I honestly just took notes of the ones that, cause I didn't catch them before the show. I caught them during the show, and I just took notes of the ones that I just happened to catch because I was ripping and running back and forth. And after the fact, I realized I missed so many trailers, so many TV spots. I missed so many commercials, and I caught it after the fact. So if you want to be mad at somebody, blame me or blame Amy. She was the one that was really distracting me with, is that a blow-up doll in the third row? I couldn't concentrate.
I was relieved. I thought, and I think we'll get to this in a second, sort of the debates about the appropriateness of having this event at all this year aside, and again, I think we'll get more to that in a second, I appreciated that the commercials didn't go too hard on I was ready for commercial after commercial after commercial.
Wear your mask by Bud Light.
It's been a tough year, but with Ford tough.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to hear it. God love him, the Bruce Springsteen, we finding unity. It's like, let's read the room a little, Bruce.
Our country's been through a lot. And when you go through a lot, you want to take a Bud Light, just like mix a message.
I didn't think many of them were screamingly funny or really that memorable, but I was worried because I'd seen an article of commercials shouldn't try to be funny this year. It's too bleak a year. And I'm like, oh,
that's when they definitely should be funny. It's like if the world's already, in hell in the handbasket, why would you want to throw gasoline on that fire? I mean, that dumpster fire, no, let's throw a little love, sprinkle a little love on it. That's what I do.
I will say, we got a comment from Tetra Sphere, wrote into the show asking us the following, said the super butt and sports in general are super spreader events. No one seems to care or even think about it. A bunch of sweaty ass dudes spitting and touching and rubbing up against each other. That's why I love it. Tackling each other, spitting in each other's mouths. I don't know if we're watching the same game.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the one you're watching where everyone's spitting in each other's mouth?
That's what confused me the whole time. I was like, dude, what game are you watching, man?
But he goes on to say, we're closing down small businesses, but yet we allow for sports to remain open. Are we stupid? LOL. I can't open my business but yet a pointless fucking game, which means absolutely nothing, is still in play.
So a hardcore football fan is what we're talking about, right? Like it sounds like you don't really like sports anyway. That's what
I will say. I know a lot of them were.
What was his name again?
You know, Tetra Sphere.
Tetra Sphere. Yeah, Tetris doesn't sound like he plays football or likes football.
Well, but like I do understand where they're coming from, because I will say there was a definite, you know, I thought I cried when Amanda Gorman did her poem, because she's amazing, and I love that we have a poet that is like now a national rock star. I think that's so cool. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I will say there's also an element of like doing that, having her give that, you know, recite that poem, having that like moment of talk, you know, here's to our frontline workers, here's a nurse, here's an educator here, and then like cutting to the stands, and it's like people are there with like their noses hanging out of their masks, and it did feel a little tone deaf. It did feel a little like, I get it's a big industry, I get people really wanted this year.
Yeah.
Do we have to? I don't know. I think it's a nuanced issue, and I can understand. It was also outdoors. A lot of the people there were vaccinated. It's really cool that they got healthcare workers in to see. I think a third of the crowd were vaccinated healthcare workers, which is a lovely sentiment. Right. I think it's a really gray area issue, and I can understand people on either side of this going, this was totally inappropriate, or they did it as best they could.
I think either answer on one side or the other is going to be correct. I mean, because on one side they're going to say, you know, with things being so bleak, we need a little entertainment. We need to be able to get that comedy show or hopefully that movie theater things to boost morale. But at the same time, we need to be safe. Both is correct.
Yeah. I think the game could have happened without a crowd. I know it's not quite the same, but they made it work.
In Florida? Oh no, they probably. I'm surprised that there was that many blow up dolls in the seat. they wanted to like shoulder to shoulder lick your ticket and give it to the. they wanted that. I'm telling you, what is that guy saying?
Now for the halftime show, we're all just gonna kiss for a while.
Yeah, everybody spit towards the 50-yard line and show the team how much you love them.
know, the Tampa Bay Bucks cheer where you just lick your hand and then hold it out and the person next to you licks it.
Give that high five. Yeah, that's spit. We probably got to move. We gotta probably move on from this joke. We're probably gonna get flagged by YouTube. Are you guys telling people to spit on it? Okay, sorry.
Or they'll promote us.
Yeah, because you know people's kinks. I mean, I'm not going to start an OnlyFans anytime soon, but hey, I see the potential. But guys, let us know what you guys think about the Super Bowl, about all the commercials. We're going to go later on We Got Your Mail. We Got Your Vote. We're going to talk about more of the top commercials that we saw.
I have thoughts
about the. I have big
thoughts about that M. Night Shyamalan movie and how it was the funniest commercial.
We know we're gonna share. So everybody, let us know what you guys think about the whole M. Night Shyamalan thing, and we'll talk about it. We Got Your Mail.
Exactly.
My answer might surprise you. What's the next topic we have?
Well, the Britney Spears conservatorship case has headed back to court after a new documentary about Spears by the New York Times came out on Hulu. Calls to #Free Britney were joined by a new message. We're sorry, Britney. An old clip of Craig Ferguson explaining why he won't tell jokes about the pop star has resurfaced online. Ferguson then announced that he wouldn't be telling any jokes about Spears and suggested other members of the media handle the pop star in a more delicate manner. People are falling apart. People are dying. That Anna Nicole Smith woman, she died. It's not a joke. It stops being funny then, he said. From The Hollywood Reporter, seemingly referring to the that was from The Hollywood Reporter. Seemingly referring to the documentary, Spears wrote, "Each person has their story and their take on other people's stories. We all have so many different, bright, beautiful lives. Remember, no matter what we think we know about a person's life, it is nothing compared to the actual person living behind the lens."
Exactly. I caught it. Yeah, I caught it. Me and Joy, we watched it. I didn't know.
Because I grew up in that. I had a Britney poster. Like, Oops, I Did It Again, I think was the first album I bought. Like, this was the era I came of age, and it was jaw dropping to be reminded of how bad it was.
Yeah. And even during that time, because I mean, I know me and Britney are in the same age group. And I remember when she was on her rise, when the boy bands were coming up, and they were like, "This a solo female artist isn't going to be able to compete with these guys," and she did. She was there. It was Britney, Spice Girls, NSYNC, and the Backstreet Boys. They were all dominating the charts at the same time. And Diddy was like, "What the hell?" But I remember how there was reports of like young girls going to these concerts. Oh my God, I love Britney so much. And their dads would stick around and have an extra ticket too and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stick around for the show too. It was a lot of creepy guys and stuff coming at her.
Every time I remember how young she was when that schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
It's so suggestive.
At 16 or 15.
So sexualized.
And everybody was wondering, when is she a virgin? When is she about to turn 18? Oh my God, she's almost legal. Like, dude, you got like today. If that stuff was happening today, oh man, a lot of that would have been shut down so fast. Yeah. But in the early 2000s in 1999, it was just like, why are you acting like such a bee about it? I'm just asking about your breasts. I mean, what's going on? Like that was
insane.
It was
we
crazy.
Have to talk about your breasts. The interviewer literally was like, like that was the elephant in the room.
They're telling me in my ear that I gotta ask about about the twins. I'm like, what? I was like, I wish I could have like quantum leap right there and just make her say like, okay, so are you married? I would have put him on the spot. I would have turned it back around to him. Yeah. Be like, I'm underage, right? How are you married?
And women are have more agency to do that now. But you see in that documentary, like she handles everything so graciously.
Yeah.
And with so much kindness and with so much grace. And, we're talking about essentially a child. I think we referenced that the Diane Sawyer interview where it's like, oh, this senator's wife said she would kill you if she had the chance. Yeah. And she's just sitting there like, well, that's so mean.
Yeah, every answer she gave was
and she handled it brilliantly, just going, well, it's not my job to babysit her kid, but still the grace and now you'd be like, all right, square up, bitch.
Catch me outside. Yeah, the cash me outside girl today gets millions of dollars and gets to do whatever the hell she wants. Yeah. But oh wow, I wish she didn't do that. She gets to have her dad like say, you're not mentally competent.
And it's insane because she was everything you were supposed to be. She was gorgeous, thin, white, blonde, sexy, virginal. Like she literally could not have fit more the perfect mold of like, this is what we want a woman to be in America. It still wasn't enough.
It was, I'm not even gonna lie. I remember back then because I was probably a bit when Justin Timberlake went solo and that album came out and the whole spin about I thought, because we were led to believe that the whole thing was true. The whole thing about her cheating on him with the choreographer, whatever you said, and then he made the Cry Me a River song or video, but out of being hurt, and now the whole thing is like maybe that stuff wasn't true. I was like, I remember back then we all bought into it. It boosted his career. And then I thought about how this wasn't the first time that happened. I'm like, I'm a huge Justin Timberlake music fan. But then but I'm looking back at if this would have happened today, it would have all played out differently.
Everyone would be on, and I think the documentary addresses a bit. Everyone would have been on social media telling their side. They're telling their
side of the story. And like then what happened with Justin Timberlake and then Janet Jackson. And I remember how he quickly.
I feel like they planned on dropping this Super Bowl weekend. Like
it was exactly. It just reminded you a whole bunch of things that was like. I remember thinking way back then, like, wait a sec. I mean, I understand that Justin Timberlake is the hotter, more popular pop star at the time, at the early 2000s in the moment. But we're talking about Janet Jackson. She comes from a legacy. And why are y'all throwing her under the bus? Janet Jackson, you know how powerful her family is, and it worked. I was like, wow, really? I like y'all. And I remember when that situation happened. No kids were really watching the Super Bowl at the time. It was a bunch of adults that thought it was all a part of the show. And then I'm looking, because today I'm looking back and I'm seeing Justin Timberlake should apologize. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Then when I saw it, I was like, Oh, okay. So Justin, that whole story might not have been true. So you used it to boost your career, and you probably, I mean, she probably had it was chipping away at her sanity once. That's how the documentary played out. All these things were just chipping away at her little by little by little by little. And I understood a little bit more now, and I was like, damn, I bought into it.
Honestly, the shaved head thing, how much we all laughed at her, and it's like, I get it.
She thought that would make
like,
the
don't look at me.
paparazzi stop.
I don't want you to talk about my hair. This isn't about me. Don't touch me. Stay away from me. Like it almost feels like things like assault victims will do to kind of build that wall around them.
Right. But it usually it usually backfires, because then it's like, oh, now we're watching her decline. We're watching the mental break, and that's even more money for them to get pictures of. What I heard that a celebrity.
All I'm saying is someone who's done some real panicked quarantine haircuts. I get it, girl. I get it.
Yeah, I'm there too. But I heard from I don't know if this actually works, but I heard that some celebrities, whenever when they don't want to be bothered too much by the paparazzi, the trick is wear the same outfit, like a sweatshirt.
I've heard that.
Wear it every day.
Like it
looks like it's from the same day. It devalues the picture. It's like, how do I know that this is the same? This is a new picture from today or what you took last week? It's like, it's not my fault. She keeps wearing the same clothes. Well,
messed up.
And it works. I think little things like that. But they were pushing her so much to, be nice, get out there, get out. Because I remember on the beginning of the documentary, it said it was like the paparazzi and her were in this symbiotic relationship. Then as she grew up and just didn't want it, she wanted more privacy. It was like, it was too late. You fed the beast.
Oh my God, don't get me started though on the paparazzi and that thing. Like, well, she said leave me alone, but she meant like that day. Yeah. Like she did not want you there. No, oh my God, they were despicable.
I was like, oh my God, this dude, imagine this dude saying this on the stand. Yeah, she said no, but she didn't say it like that. Come on, Your Honor, you'd have to have been there.
Own it. You know what? Just own, like, I was making crazy money.
Yeah.
The culture at the time, it was wrong. And in hindsight, I made a mistake.
Well, he admitted that much of it. It's like,
but then he like swiveled back around and was like, but she kind of loved it.
But yeah, exactly. She once again made it her fault. Yeah. It was. I mean, hey, there's been people who have gotten paparazzi who've gotten totally beaten down for stepping over the line, for zooming in and taking pictures in a open blind and all that stuff, taking pictures of the children, things like that. I mean, just things go too far. Like Craig Ferguson said, like Princess Diana, she died. They had to make a law based on what happened to Princess Diana. So things could spiral out of control real quick. So what's the last topic of the week?
Our final topic. Sony has made an official offer to Keanu Reeves to play Kraven the Hunter in an upcoming Spider-Man film. But the starring role of Kraven is not a done deal, according to a report from the Illuminati. Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige, a creative lead and producer on Sony's rebooted Spider-Man franchise set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, previously told comicbook.com, Marvel talks to Reeves, quote, for almost every film we make. I don't know when, if, or ever he'll join the MCU, but we very much want to figure out the right way to do it, Feige said of Reeves in the 2019 interview. Feige added, Jake Gyllenhaal was approached multiple times before signing on as Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home.
So based on, I guess, all this that you're seeing right here, what do you think? So if you don't know, Kraven the Hunter is like, it's a super enhanced. He's like the epitome of the most that the human body can be. Like he's super strong. I think he gets his powers from some magical drink, right? So, but he's the world's most perfect hunter and like beast catcher, and like he's tamed the lions, he's hunted down the rhinos. But no matter what it is, he can hunt it down and he can conquer. He's the king of the jungle. He's the top dog. And then he decides to set his sights on Spider-Man. He sees the quickness, the agility, and all the strength, everything that reminds him of him, and he takes it on as a challenge. It just depends on who's writing the story. I mean, sometimes he's being paid to hunt down Spider-Man. Other times it's like it's just who's gonna lead? It'll be the king of the jungle kind of a mentality. It's just animal instinct driven kind of guy. So he's a cool character too. I believe he's Russian. So it reminds me that with as far as Keanu Reeves, it reminds me a little bit of the whole thing with John Wick, the badassedness of it. But it reminds me of that Baba Yaga story, that Russian story about him being a boogeyman. So I'm wondering if he's gonna break out that Russian accent and everything. I feel like this is Keanu's time. If a lot of people feel like he's too thin to play the role,
it's not my instinct. I like Keanu Reeves. I don't love Keanu Reeves, and I know that's like an incredibly controversial statement, but I'm very like, he's fine. He seems like a cool dude.
You feel about him the way you feel about Tom Brady?
I like Keanu Reeves more than I like Tom Brady.
What? Okay.
I had to rank completely unrelated celebrities.
Keanu Reeves.
I like him. Like I said, I think he can be a lot of fun and stuff. I don't understand. I get kind of from this dude is like beloved and kind of having a moment right now in the public eye. I can understand why Marvel wants to get him in there. But from an acting standpoint, I'm not like, oh my God, I need to see Keanu Reeves do more stuff.
I wouldn't have. He wouldn't be on my list for that character.
Yeah, he feels like an odd choice for that character. I feel like there's more fitting superheroes.
He would have been an amazing Doctor Strange.
That's actually what as I was saying it, I was like, I feel like a Doctor Strange kind of thing, but we got that.
So I feel I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't for John Wick, I wouldn't have believed, because it's so long since like Point Blank and Speed and everything. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, The Matrix is one thing, but a badass like Kraven the Hunter is like no way you're gonna convince me that he's that cutthroat and has that killer instinct. Then he does it with John Wick. I'm like, okay. Yeah. That's why I don't argue it at all, because we've seen him play this king of the jungle, badass hunter, nobody's gonna stop me type of guy before. So,
but I feel like being able to play badass and being like the perfect fit for the character are not necessarily the best,
right?
Like the same thing. And I feel, and I know we have a community poll coming up, and I spoilers. I think this is a pretty common opinion, because when I Googled it to do a bit of research. One of the first articles that popped up were people wanting Carl Urban in the role, and you see it side by side, and it's just like, oh, he looks like that dude.
Yeah, that's
spot on.
I remember I heard something or read something that Keanu Reeves says that when he was asked that question, who would you, if you would play a superhero, who would you want to play? He wanted to play Wolverine. I'm like, I definitely wouldn't have been able to see. And the face I see with the mutton chops and everything, I could see it with the way he shaves, but. No, it's almost the same character.
Yeah.
As far as like animal and badass and things like that. Like I said, guys, thank you guys again for joining us for another episode, and thanks for supporting the channel on the levels that you do. We really, really appreciate it. If you haven't become a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know what you guys think at all time. This show was brought to you in front of a live studio audience. Look at me right here when I say this to you. In front of a live studio audience of you amazing, beautiful people out there. That's right. I'm sucking up because I know where my dinner comes from. So appreciate you guys once again for joining us. And until next time.